Sometimes. Give us the smolder. Wake up, sweetness.
Your first time should be more than special.
I'm in, Savannah said. Good Lord, Gemma. When a man and a woman, in this case, really, really love each other. What happens is they fuck.
Ooh, hello?
Oh, dang it, I lost my fish. This next word almost sounds like Quidditch. Quidditch milade Diana Agosiagath an Fiedian. As much as I love fucking you, sweetness, we stared into each other's eyes whilst I moaned in ecstasy. Having consumed half of the bourbon, I keep saying bourbon. You know, every time I mess up on a word, Stunt Mama just shows up.
She had her seductive smile on her lips.
I said we couldn't have sex. I didn't say anything about everything else. Ew. Happy to help. Biatch. You are the spark of light in the vastness of my night. His note, like a finality to a beautiful, breathtaking song.
Good evening. Welcome to another stream where we can relax, listen to a story, and do a puzzle. And because we're on the final pages of our book tonight, I thought it was only fair that the puzzle would be of a whole bunch of different cats. In fact, I'm going to make this bigger. Let's make this bigger. Hi, Mitchell. There you go. A whole bunch of cats. It's almost like one for each chapter, except there aren't enough cats for chapters. So maybe one for every few chapters. Anyway, you get the idea. There's some symbolism there. So that's our puzzle for tonight. I apologize for not being on camera. Just wasn't quite camera ready this evening. But we're still going to read a good story, or finish a good story. And it'll be okay. So, I guess... Oh, no, wait. I do have one quick thing to mention. We can't gaze upon your beauty. Oh, you are laying it on thick. I'm just kidding. It's very kind of you. Thank you for saying that. For those of you that remember one of my streaming friends, Heidi763, most people call her D, some people call her Heidi. We are going to be, well, I'm going to be joining her on her stream. Probably, well, it's either going to be tomorrow or some other Monday, like maybe next week, depending on what we can get figured out. And the goal is that we're going to read a short story together and then play a game. Fun times. So we'll have to see. We're just trying to finalize the timing. So, just wanted to throw that out there. So, something to look out for. And in case you're not following her, I'll drop a link. There she is. She's a hoot. She's a ton of fun. So definitely give her a follow if you haven't. But yes, we are going to be streaming together, or I should say I'm joining her stream. I won't actually stream. Just took that first sip of tea. It's on point. It's on the money. All right, let me switch over to the reading screen, and then we can get started. Okay. Puzzle's ready. I've got the book in front of me. We're on chapter 18 tonight. So tonight's your last chance to check out this book too. After tonight, that link won't be active anymore, and I'll be getting it ready for the next book, which I have on my desk in front of me. But in the meantime, we're on page 169. And let's see. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Tristan and Xerenyse, the cat, went to find Minima, and they did. But that's as far as we got last time. They just found each other, and that was it. So now we'll see what happens. Hello, Tristan, my boy. Slack-jawed Tristan just stares. What are you doing here at this time of night? I didn't expect you. He's after me, Minima answers, her eyes full of fear. Who is? The evil one. Tristan takes a quick step outside and scans the environment. Come on in. You'll be safe here, he says. Oh, hold on. Just need to send the link. Please hold. My apologies. Okay. Hey, you caught the Pokemon. Good job. Come on in. You'll be safe in here, he says. He guides his great aunt into the house and locks the door again. My natural reflex is to dive under the coffee table where I watch from afar. Tristan brings the old woman into the lounge, a caring arm around her shoulder. The ring will protect you here. My heart regains its normal beating. I keep forgetting that. Of course we're protected. But maybe Minima isn't. She did say that the spell to protect her at the farm would be broken the day Tristan came for his powers. Did Moverio know that? Is that the reason why he's after her? Crawling out of my hiding place, I can't help feeling sorry for the old dear. She looks so fragile and afraid. Maybe I should try to comfort her. I get no further than a couple of steps when she lets out a long, mournful wail and wraps her arms around her body. Well, hey, what's up? Tristan reaches out and helps her to the settee. Minima grabs his hand. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I need to use the bathroom. Of course. She tucks her bag under her arm and Tristan guides his great aunt to the stairs. Come on, I'll show you to the main bathroom. Once on the first floor, Tristan leads his great aunt to the far end of the landing. I follow. If you need anything, just call, Tristan says, returning to the top of the stairs. I'll go down and make you a nice cup of tea. Might make you feel better. Worried the old dear may be seriously ill, I remain upstairs. If she needs help, I can rush down and get Tristan. She enters the bathroom, leaving the door slightly ajar. I creep up and pin my ear to the wooden panel. There's no noise. Could she have fainted? I nose the door open a little, just enough for one eye to see. Minima reaches for Tristan's ring sat on the wash basin and slipped it onto her finger. After admiring the golden band from all angles, she brings her face up close to the mirror and pops out one, then two contact lenses. Rubbing her eyes, she pulls back and blinks rapidly before opening them wide. My breath catches in my throat. The reflection staring back has one blue and one green eye. Shit. It's Moverio. My pulse races as I rush around, skidding on the parquet. What am I going to do? What can I do? I haven't a clue how to explain this to Tristan, and I mustn't let Minima, or rather Moverio, touch me. Tristan, my boy, I need your help. I think I'm going to pass out. No. It's a trap and Tristan's running straight into it without his ring. I head for the top of the stairs to find Tristan taking the steps 2 by 2. He rushes past me despite me yowling at the top of my voice. I know, Xerenyse. I heard her calling. It'll be all right. I'm not screaming for that. I'm shouting because it's Moverio. Hi, Kay. Yes, a non-visual day today. Frustration eats at me as Tristan rushes into the bathroom and into the ambush. What the F? Tristan's last word is covered by Moverio's wild laughter. I bolt down the landing, unwilling to sit by and do nothing. On the other hand, what can I do? From where I stand in the doorway, I catch both men in an arm-to-arm struggle. Moverio shifted back into his normal self and is holding syringe dangerously close to Tristan's neck. I only hope Tristan is strong enough to hold Moverio off. Run, Xerenyse. Get away. Don't let him touch you. Hey, Mad Locust. Yeah, Kay, everything's fine. I just wasn't quite camera ready, that's all. My legs are glued to the spot as panic sets in like a huge whirlwind. I try to take deep breaths, but fear is flashing through me, heavy on my chest, beating against my ribcage, sending messages of horror to my brain, and I can't react normally. I can't even move. I said, run, Xerenyse. Get into the forest. My throat aches as his pleading eyes meet mine. Something in his gaze pulls at my gut. I can't leave him like this. Please, he shouts. Go, before it's too late. His heartbreaking voice fills my head as I dart for the stairs. I miss the top one. With my eyes wide in shock, I tumble all the way to the bottom, legs spread in all directions. Back bouncing on each step. What happened to my cat reflexes? Am I losing them? I reach the bottom, the worse for wear, repeating the same sentence over and over in my head. Don't let Moverio get you. I scurry across the lounge to the open window, knowing that I need to get away. But can I leave Tristan? I'm stuck between galloping away and returning upstairs. My gaze sweeps from the forest and freedom to the stairs. What do I do? I could cry with frustration. I come back to the bottom of the stairs and hesitate. My feet are fidgety and nervous. I prick my ears. No noise from up there. Should I go up? I've returned my gaze to the half-open window. Before I know it, a dark mass falls over my body. I claw at the material to wriggle free. No matter how hard I struggle, the hands hold firm. My lungs strain for oxygen. My mind spins. I'm suffocating. Darkness descends, and I slip away into oblivion. There's a break in the story right here. You know what that means? I get to take a sip of tea. Delicious sip of tea, might I add. When I come to, I'm in my human form, tied and gagged. At least being unconscious, I didn't go through the traumatic pain of shifting. I managed to drag my mind out of its cold, dark hole. My arms ache, my chest hurts, and my breathing comes in short spurts. Little by little, my brain comes out of hibernation. Silence surrounds me. I can't feel anything. I can't smell anything. Yet something is familiar. It's weird. I shake my head to accelerate my thoughts. I only gain a thumping head. Not a good idea, after all. I remain perfectly still until my head stops spinning. My eyes open as my body recovers its senses. I know where I am. I'm in Tristan's bedroom. My wrists are tied with coarse rope to the brass bars above my head. Despite my determination not to panic, it builds like a rolling snowball in the pit of my gut, and the ball is rolling fast. Deep breathing from somewhere in the room means company. Xerenyse, at last. Mavario's voice is low and calm, too calm. He steps out of the shadows, hands on hips. He's still wearing Tristan's ring. I struggle to free my sore wrists, all the while picturing what could have happened to Tristan. Has Mavario killed him? If I'm tied to the bed, Tristan must be dead, or he would have saved me. Once again, I tug on the cord. The more I pull on it, the more it chafes my skin. I'm doomed. Ready for the slaughter. No matter how hard I try by twisting around to cover my nudity, it's a waste of time. I can't hide my body from him. Mavario's eyes skim over my body. I don't like the way they glint. He stoops forward and glides a finger down my cheek before pulling my gag down. "Where's Tristan?" I croak. I haven't spoken for so long, it sounds strange to hear my voice, and my throat hurts when I speak. "What have you done to him? And how did you manage to get into the house?" "I had to be invited. And what better idea than to come as his great aunt?" "You bastard!" Mavario's reaction is halfway between a cackle and a snort. "In all my years, no one has given me as much trouble as you have, dearest Xerenyse." "Get away from me," I manage to say as I kick out with all my strength. His odor of stale sweat makes me want to retch. A sharp slap flares across my face, and I suck my lower lip. The tang of blood flavors my tongue. I'm no match for this man. Tears of pain and fury roll down my cheeks as he puts the gag back in place. Not long now, my lovely. The glassy gleam in his cold, flat eye sends shivers down my spine. It's as if he's in some sort of trance, a death glare. It scares me more than the way his dirty gaze wanders over my naked body. He approaches and takes my collar, which now lies beside me. Turning it around in his hand, he examines the beautiful green gem. So, this is Brigid Stone, he mumbles, heading out of the room. Let me get my dagger. His footsteps fade until the silence is broken by his loud swearing when the bathroom door slams shut. Stepmama's mama, hi there. Welcome in. Your mama command does work, you know. It's just now on Firebot instead. Just in case you were curious. When the bathroom door slams shut. What the fuck? I thought I'd killed you. My breath catches in my throat. Tristan's alive? Muffled voices and energetic banging echo in the air before a deathly hush fills the cottage, where only my breathing is audible. I strain my ears. All is now silent. Heavy footsteps creak on the corridor's wooden floor, along with heavy breathing and regular dull thuds echoing from the stairway. It must be Moverio dragging Tristan's body step after step to the bottom. My heart thumps in my chest. If it pounds any harder, it's going to explode. The front door crashes against the wall, and footsteps crunch on the gravel outside, along with harsher dragging. I guess Tristan's body's being pulled through the small, sharp stones. There's complete silence. What's Moverio doing? A dog barks nearby before Tristan's car comes to life and torpedoes out of his driveway. More tears surface. Moverio is driving away with Tristan's body. And I'm on my own. Scared, yet so angry. Rage and despair rolls over me as a stream of memories washes down my face. The happy moments I had with Tristan. The love and protection he gave me. Now that's all gone. And so has my future. And that was chapter 18. Didn't want to interrupt the story? Oh, well, that's very kind of you. You're always welcome to use your sound, though. Always. Delicious tea. I just drank. I guess you couldn't see that, could you? Thank you for the hydrate. I will take another sip. So good. So good. All right. I hope everyone's doing okay. Tomorrow's Monday. This is a great chance to get a little peace before the rush of the week hits us all. Mad Locust is all good. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. You did make your I'm drinking tea sound? I have a sound? Oh god. I didn't realize I had a sound. Now you're going to make me self-conscious. That's fine. Even if I were self-conscious, I'd probably still make the sound because, well, it's hot tea. You drink hot things differently than you do cold. Mainly because we don't want to burn ourselves. Well, it seems like, or at least we have the impression that Tristan has been defeated by Moverio in some way, shape, or form and has been hauled away. Will this story have a happy ending? I don't know. I really don't know. You like slurping cold drinks too? That was probably way too aggressive. Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, I highly doubt it was Tristan taking Moverio's body away, because Tristan would have come and rescued her and freed her, you know? So, not sure. But all we know right now is that she's alone. Someone drove away in Tristan's car. And she's assuming that it was Moverio, which is a very likely assumption. Plausible. Very, very plausible. Chapter 19 starts on page 175, and again, as a reminder, tonight is the last night to click the link for this book and other works by A.J. Saunders. We've read some of her stuff before. Always enjoyed her work. I'm going to drop the link again. So please take a look at her other stories. See if you like them. Follow the author so you can get updates. And in the meantime, I will keep reading. Chapter 19, page 175. The room is dark. God knows how long I've been tied to the bed sobbing. Feels like an eternity. My head thumps from so much crying, and dehydration is setting in. I slowly sink into misery, asking myself, what is there left to live for? To hope for? You took a picture of the book in the corner of the screen because I'm old school? Stump Mama's mama. I mean, do what you gotta do. I'm just saying. Tristan is gone, and so will I when Moverio returns. As if on cue, a car pulls into the driveway, shedding bright light through the window. Then all goes dark. The car door opens and immediately slams shut. Moverio is on his way to sacrifice me. A light comes from the landing, and a strangled sob escapes from my throat. As footsteps climb slowly up the stairs, my heart races, and blood thunders in my ears. Threw some chili cheese bites in the oven. Wow. Good for you. Go get it. Dawn is about to break, and there's enough light coming through the window for me to make out the furniture in the room. I pray he won't turn the light on. I can't bear to have his disgusting eyes on my body again. The door eases open, and his hand stretches to the switch. My eyes dart to the silhouette, waiting for his triumphant grin. Xerenyse. I choke back a cry. Please don't let this be a trick of the light. Tristan takes determined steps to the foot of the bed and lifts the duvet cover to my naked body. What has he done to you? He asks, pulling the gag away from my mouth. I gaze up at him but remain silent. He unties my wrists and brings my arms down from above my head before pulling out a paper hanky from his pocket and gently wiping my bottom lip. Speak to me, Xerenyse. Please. We weren't able to talk when you were a cat. Don't dry up on me when we can communicate properly. I rub some life back into my arms and sit up before shedding a few more tears. I can't stop crying. I cry for our misfortune, for what's happening, for this whole crazy situation. All the tears I couldn't cry as a cat are now surfacing into a tsunami. Don't cry. You're killing me. He reaches out and rubs my sore wrists. You're safe now. I've dealt with Moverio. Where is he? I croak, trying to articulate. He's locked in the cellar. I let out a short gasp. How? When I went up to the bathroom after my great aunt, or should I say after Moverio called for me, he was waiting with a syringe. I know. I followed and saw you fight. We fought for quite a while, but I realized it was over when something sharp stung my shoulder and I became dizzy. It was then that he boasted I'd never find you. Tears rolled down my cheeks as I recall what I'd seen. Moverio determined to kill Tristan, Tristan putting up a fight to save his life. When I came to, Tristan continues, everything was silent, but I knew he'd be back. Before he jabbed me, his dagger fell out of his pocket and onto the bathroom tiles. I managed to kick it under the medicine cupboard. I sniff loudly as Tristan wipes my tears with his thumb. But I was waiting for him. As soon as he stepped into the bathroom, I stabbed him in the side with his dagger. My breath catches in my throat. I know I'm not proud of what I did, but I had no choice. It was him or me. It's not that. It's just, you could have been killed. A new surge of tears flow down my cheeks. I dab my eyes and blow my nose. I can't believe I still have any more tears to shed. How much longer will I go on crying? What happened next? I ask, scrunching the tissue in my hand. When Moverio passed out, I took back my ring and dragged his body to the cellar. I didn't have time to deal with him there and then. I had a cat to find. He let out a nervous laugh. I searched all night for you in the forest, he whispers. That's where I thought you'd take refuge when I told you to run. I bite my bottom lip, too distraught to speak. Hey, I'm here now. I sniff loudly and swallow back fresh tears, so grateful we're together. Tristan tilts his head to one side and tucks a strand of hair behind my ear before taking hold of my hands. My skin burns when his fingers touch me. Can he feel that too? Does his stomach flutter like mine? A shudder flickers through me, and goosebumps veil my skin. Nothing like the ones that appear in the cold. These are making me tingle. And when he puts a bit of pressure on my wrists, my heart thumps against my ribcage. He releases my hands and heads to the door. It looks as if you could do with a drink of water. I'll nip downstairs and get you a glass. Please? I'd like that. Oh, and grab one of my shirts or a pair of my pajamas from the wardrobe. He calls as he disappears out of the bedroom. I pull away the duvet and step onto the soft carpet, then hurry to Tristan's wardrobe to open the left-hand door, the place where he keeps his shirts. Taking the first that comes to hand, I slip my arms through the sleeves, buttoning the front as quickly as my fingers will allow. When I turn, Tristan is sitting on the bed, a glass of water held out to me. I take it and gulp down the cool liquid in one go. I needed that. I remain standing next to the window, fiddling with my empty glass. There's a puzzled look on Tristan's face, something between confusion and relief. Well, hi there, Aries. It's good to see you. How are you? I can't believe you're you, he says, sailing a hand through my hair. Are you here to stay? I think so. My heartbeat picks up a quicker rhythm. I don't know what to say or what he expects of me. Sensing my unease, he holds out a hand. It's okay. Come here. I walk toward him and take his outstretched hand. It's warm and comforting. I think you look better in my shirt than I do, he says, taking the glass out of my other hand. A timid chuckle surfaces. Tristan puts a comforting arm around my shoulder. My gut does a somersault, and the dormant butterflies... Well, thank you for the follow. The dormant butterflies decide to have a ball. Even so, I need to know if Maverio is really dead. I lost my place. Oh, there we go. He pulls back and caresses my cheek. I turn my face into his hand and purr deep in my throat. Shit. I jerk my head back. I'll have to stop that. Shake off my feline instincts. Get used to the fact that I'm human. What will he take me for? I risk a peek his way. He's staring down at me, a broad grin on his face. Sorry, I say, lowering my head. Me, distracted? Never. Don't be. He rubs his thumb across my knuckles and I raise my gaze as I chew the inside of my cheek. What is it? Tristan's smile fades. I need to go to the cellar, to see with my own eyes that Maverio is dead. Tristan's mouth draws into a straight line. But please don't think I doubt you, I say, tapping his thumb with my fingers. It's just... You were stabbed with a syringe, but you survived. What if Maverio isn't dead? What if he survived the dagger wound? My chest tightens when he releases my hand. I've been chased for nearly a year now, Tristan, and I can't believe he's finally dead. I saw him get struck down by a thunderbolt in the forest, but he lived on. Frown lines appear on Tristan's forehead. I wait for him to say something. No words come. No reaction either, and I don't like where this is going. For the moment, he remains motionless, like he's in some sort of daze. Then, as if he's suddenly aware of my presence, he reaches into his pocket and pulls out the gemstone collar. I bite down a smile. Dan, what's up? Because that means I'm not last? Absolutely. Tristan opens the clasp, and when he ties it around my wrist, it immediately begins to glow. You're right, he says. We need to check on him. I grab one of his sweatshirts and pull it over my head. Tristan pulls out a pair of tracksuit bottoms from the wardrobe, along with his grandfather's box. Here, he says, handing me the trousers before opening the box. While he pulls out the piece of cloth covering the shard, I slip on the tracksuit bottoms, pulling tightly on the cord around my waist. Take this, Tristan says, holding out the shard. I hold out a hesitant hand. We may need it, he says, no doubt sensing my confusion. We can't be too cautious, and if my great aunt told me to take it, it had to be for a reason. I follow Tristan downstairs, rolling up my sleeves and squealing every time my feet touch the cold stone floor. You need to wear something on your feet, he says, opening the shoe cupboard. I think Estelle left a pair of boots here. I'm not wearing anything of hers. He pulls out a pair of camel lace-up boots. Well, you can't go barefoot, can you? The cold November sunrise lights the garden in ribbons of pale gold streaks as we head across the gravel path to the cellar. Not for long. Oh, hi, Mel. Daily Book Bonk. I'll have to IO you on that one. My camera is not on today. But I promise I'll book bonk myself really good next time. Promise. A few spots of rain spit down to the ground. Another bleary day. And I can't stop a ball from forming in my gut. Can't shake off my fear. I'll see if I can get it working after this chapter. How about that? Daft thoughts race through my mind, accentuating my unease. What if Maverio set a trap for us, ready for the final blow? We have to tread carefully. Mustn't underestimate the monster. We approach the cellar door. It stands strong with its metal bars secured in place. No one can get out without blasting it with dynamite. I don't think Maverio has any. Silence hangs in the air like a dead weight. I press my ear to the door. No noise escapes. None can. The oak panel is built to keep out the worst of weather, and I trust it can keep in the worst of all devils. Tristan seizes one of the side bars. My hand shoots out to stop him. I'm scared. He holds up his hand to show me the ring, and I pull back my sweatshirt sleeve. The gemstone on the velvet band is glowing. But is that enough? Is it going to be any different now that I'm human? Can the ring protect us both? The sound of the door swinging open makes my heart beat faster. I glue my chest to Tristan's back and follow him into the dark, sniffing the air. My lips curl into a weak smile. I'll have to get rid of that habit. Adrenaline races through me, and my heartbeat rockets when I hear squeaking. I pinch my lips together to hold back a shriek, but soon relaxed as a scurry of tiny mice dashes for the doorway. I let go of Tristan and move aside to let the poor rodents rush by. Tristan reaches for the light switch. I grip his arm hard. Take it easy, Xerenyse. I release my hold, and he flicks on the light. A shape in the corner catches my attention. There he is. Under his cloak, Tristan takes another pace forward. I pull him back. Be careful, I whisper. You stay here, and if things go wrong, you run. I eye the exit. Do you hear me, Xerenyse? Run where? To who? The police? I nod to please him. He gazes my cheek with a kiss and heads to where Maverio is lying under his cloak. Each step Tristan takes, my muscles clench. With a swift flick of the wrist, he swishes the cloak away to reveal a pile of Hessian sacks. My breath catches in my throat. And that's the end of chapter 19. All right. Let me take a quick sip of tea here, and then I can see if I can get this camera thing. Excellent tea, by the way. You really must have some. Okay, if I do that, and then re-click this. Hey, there we go. It's working. What kind am I drinking? It's black tea, English breakfast, with milk and sugar, just like the British intended tea to be drunk. Much better? Oh, you're too kind. So, I think we only have one chapter left. Maybe two? Oh, just kidding. Two. Yep. 2 chapters remain in the entire book. Crazy. Oh, nice crack in my neck. I have my window open this evening because, well, it gets really hot in here. And I thought I was going to have a problem with the camera, the lighting with the green screen, and the wind messing with the screen and all, all that stuff. But it seems to be okay. So that's good. And I apologize. I am not, I'm dressed very casually today. Normally I'm a little bit more put together. But this is one of the t-shirts that actually feels comfortable. Not that the other ones are uncomfortable, but it's like super soft material. So, I'll bet it does get hot in there. You have no idea. All right. I was out in the woods all afternoon and I'm freezing. No open window for me. I was out and about today. It was actually pretty sunny here. It was chilly, but in the car with the sun beating in, it was nice and warm. So it was a good fall day, really. All right. Are we ready for chapter 20? Sunny but chilly, yes. Layers, you know, it's all about the layers. All right, chapter 20 starts on page 182 of the printed copy. Here we go. My knees give way, and I break down and cry. You said he was in here. I splutter the words between two sobs. Tristan crouches next to me and rocks me in his arms. He was, Xerenyse. I locked him in myself. He was probably one of those mice that ran out the door. I don't want to sound accusing, but I'm so disappointed and frustrated that I can't control the harshness in my voice. I'm sorry, I say. I didn't mean to snap, it's just that... My eyes fly open, and I'm on my feet in a flash. The mice. He was one of them. That's how he escaped. Moverio changed into a mouse knowing I was no longer a cat. See? Knew it. I replay the incident in my mind. Or wait, hold on. Tristan's lips pressed together in a hard line. That has to be it, Tristan. What other explanation is there? I replay the incident in my mind over and over again, my frustration slowly slipping into despair. Did one of the mice rushing out of the cellar have different color eyes? I didn't think to look. Then again, why should I? Maybe if I'd been my cat form, I would have noticed. We step out of the cellar, our spirits reflecting the weather. Hey, there you are. Here I am. The open countryside is cold and wet, more so with the drizzle that has started to fall. I pull the hood of the sweatshirt over my head and follow Tristan to the house. A howl comes from the cellar, and we stop in our tracks. I grab Tristan's hand, my mind trying to analyze the sound. We gaze at each other, then ever so slowly turn in the direction of the cellar to see a wolf appear, a dagger clenched in his mouth. Holding back a scream, I swallow hard. Look, Tristan whispers. That wolf is Moverio. He's heading for the forest. I'm going to finish him off. I grab hold of his arm. You're not going anywhere without me. Besides, you need the ring and the necklace for full protection. I'm coming with you. Keeping at a distance, we track our target leading to the woodland. Another few meters, and we'll be amongst the trees. I catch a deep rumble as we slip into the forest, careful to leave a decent gap behind Moverio. I'm confident we're safe, or safe-ish. My bracelet sits around my wrist. Tristan is wearing his ring, and the shard is in my sweatshirt pocket. Another rumble, but Moverio pulls to a halt. We both dive for the shelter of the thick tree trunk in front of us. Tristan rolls his head forward with a quick peek. I do likewise. Moverio stops for yet another rest. The air thickens before the ground slants upwards, and he vanishes over the top. Quick, Tristan whispers. We can't afford to lose him now. I pick up speed, and we rise to the small summit. Moverio gazes quickly around before traipsing along a carpet of sparse heather, leading to a cave in the north-facing slope of a hill. The cavity is exposed to the shadows. No sun ever reaches its opening. It's sad, lonely, and a little scary. Moverio vanishes inside. I tug at Tristan's sleeve. He went down there, didn't he? I say, knowing perfectly well the monster did. Come on. The temperature drops as we step into the opening. A violent chill sweeps down my spine. Despite my thick boots, I feel the hard ground under my feet. It slants downward, and the slope gets steeper. I hold out my other hand to steady myself on the walls. Trickles of water creep down the fissures in the rock walls and over my fingers. No noise reaches my ears apart from the dripping water. The deeper we descend, the warmer it gets. The damp soil worms its way further down into the bowels of the earth, and I'm so glad Tristan's with me, guiding the way with the light of his phone. When the path reaches the mouth of a tunnel, Tristan takes my hand. He does that a lot, and my pulse picks up a notch. What do we do now? I whisper. Looks as if we're going down there, Tristan replies, flashing the light from his phone into the tunnel. I pull on the necklace of my sweatshirt. The air has become unbreathable, so much so that I'm not sure I want to go on. What if the place caves in? What if Moverio isn't here and we get trapped? We'll suffocate. The pleasant earthy smell that welcomed us at the entrance is now transformed into an overpowering odor of something putrid. It hangs in the air like a heavy shawl, and I'm ready to gag. In other words, the place smells of death. But we've come too far to give up now. The path narrows, and I release his hold. Placing both hands on his back, I shuffle behind into the mouth of the tunnel, keeping in step with his strides. A screen of moist air hits me. It's difficult to breathe. It rolls over my face and dampens my skin. My hands are clammy, and I don't like the way my head spins. The tunnel seems to go on forever. A few meters later, we come to a cavern lit up with flaming torches. Tristan switches the light off from his phone and slips it into his jacket pocket. The huge cavity overhangs a large river. The turbulent water flows swift and strong, zigzagging out of sight like a black snake. From where we stand, inky water splashes against the sides of the cave. It's strange to find choppy water in a silent cavern. There's no wind to blow waves, no downhill torrent. Nana used to tell me stories about a river in Greek mythology that was a boundary between Earth and the underworld. She called it the River Styx. This is exactly how I pictured it. Cold, lonely, and creepy. The only thing missing are the lost souls who, unable to pay the fee to cross the river, wandering on the banks for eternity. A loud, eerie laugh resonates from the other side of the river, and Moverio leaps out of the shadows to land on a flat rock. His hands hold a crimson cloak high in the air, a look of victory pasted on his evil face. The boat is coming to take you to the underworld, Tristan. His voice booms out, jerking more tiny stones away from the uneven walls. I can hear Karen rowing. I can't believe you were such fools. Thought you were following me? I was leading you both to where I wanted you to be. Despite my shaky fingers, I reach for Tristan's hand. What are we going to do? I whisper. Tristan squeezes my fingers but remains silent. He pulls me towards the wall behind us, and we stand backs tight against the damp rocks, waiting. We don't wait long. Screeching gray shadows appear behind Moverio. Their ghostly outlines bounce off the rocks and swirl in the air, beckoning us to approach with their bony fingers. I release Tristan's hand and cover my ears. The screeches tear through me, piercing my brain. Tristan removes one of my hands and whispers in my ear, "Don't move from here." Before I have time to answer or ask where he's going, the screeching stops, and I remove my hands from my ears. Apart from the gentle lapping of water, complete silence fills the air. The spirits have dissolved into the darkness, Moverio with them. After a moment of relief, a slight shiver tiptoes down my spine. Something's out of place. Why would Moverio vanish when he's close to his goal? A mighty splash comes from the river, and my head shifts to the noise. Tristan! He's coming through the water! Tristan spins around and grabs a nearby piece of fallen rock. Over here! Quick! He calls. Needles of ice staple my legs in place. I can't move. I can't breathe. It's as if my legs are pinned to the ground. When I come to my senses, it's too late. Strong fingers clutch one of my ankles. I let out an uncontrolled scream, trying to shake off a grinning Moverio. Without releasing me, he hauls himself out of the water. My darling Xerenyse. I kick out with my other foot. It lands full on his nose. A bestial screech fills the air, and he releases my ankle. I scramble forward, trying to ignore the sharp stones ripping my knees, cringing when a few fingernails snap as I clutch the rough earth. In one brisk movement, Moverio is behind me. He throws an arm behind my knees and tosses me over his shoulder like a Viking claiming his booty. Not long now, my little kitten. His voice can't hide the excitement there. He wades to the other side of the sticks, his hands stroking my butt. Bastard. My hand slammed down hard on his back. I'm rewarded with a devilish laugh. I don't know what happened next. He must have tripped. One minute I'm hanging over his shoulder, the next I'm gurgling underwater. The murky liquid thrusts up my nostrils as I kick out to mount to the surface. The indigo river circles around me like an invisible whirlpool. My head pounds, my body throbs, my lungs are on fire. I hit the surface, an explosion of water shooting out from both nose and mouth. The river has become a sea tempest, and I need to get out. With desperate strokes, I head through the choppy waves to the riverbank. A solid hand reaches down and grabs the hood of my sweatshirt. I peer up, and Tristan hauls me out of the river. Get to the tunnel, he shouts over the loud burble of lapping water. But just go. I'll take care of him. I take a few steps forward. I don't get far. My rib cage aches where the brute squashed my body against his shoulder. Coughing, I drop to my knees. Come on, Tristan. Let's get this over and done with. Moverio bellows. The ring won't protect you here. Not in the bowels of the earth. All the better for me. The bastard is right. Since we reached the bottom of the cavern, the stone on my bracelet stopped warming my skin. Moverio gets ready to fight. The way he rolls up his sleeves reminds me of a Victorian fist fighter. If the situation wasn't so dramatic, I'd burst out laughing. This is far from comical, though. Tristan may get badly hurt, or even killed. Having said that, thanks to regular exercise, he's in good physical shape. Tristan transfers his weight from one foot to the other, scrutinizing the enemy. Moverio does the same. They circle, taking their time, no doubt waiting for the right moment to attack. One step after another, they close the gap between them. The pungent smell of sweat fills the air. Beads of perspiration trickle down the sides of Moverio's face. Tristan's forehead is moist. I bite hard on my thumbnail, ignoring the pain as I chew on the cuticle. Who's going to sink the opposition? Or rather, who's going to come out alive? They're both determined. Moverio takes a plunge toward his enemy, but with a pull of the leg, Tristan bowls him over and clamps down hard on his back. The devil fights back, swearing, trying to drag his body to the water's edge. A godsend for Tristan. He locks his hands on the back of Moverio's neck, pushing the devil's head into the murky river. Moverio's limbs jolt and thrash out in a desperate fight to lift his head from the river. Tristan holds strong. I've never seen so much perseverance on his face. A few moments pass before tiny bubbles float to the surface. It's the end. And we're finally free of the beast. Just to make sure, Tristan keeps Moverio's head under the water for a little longer. Confident there's no more danger, he releases his grip and slumps back on his heels. I drop down next to Tristan just as exhausted and lean my head against his shoulder while Moverio's body slips into the deep water. That seemed a little too easy. By the way, there's going to be an ad starting really soon, just so everybody's aware, in about 2 minutes' time. We've done it, I whisper. Are we finally rid of him? Tristan kisses the top of my head. Tears prickle my eyes, and I need to be held, to be told it's all over, that the nightmare has come to an end. Tristan draws in a deep breath through his nose. Let's go. A howl gurgles out of the water, and a column of fiery steam shoots up out of the river, swirling the surface. Moverio is on his feet again. I cry out and shake my head. This can't be happening. It's not him. He stopped breathing. I saw him slip into the water. He died. Is there no way of killing this monster? He can't be immortal. He needs to sacrifice me to gain immortality. And I'm going to pause right there just so I can run the ads, and then we'll keep going. Some of you may not get the ads. Just kind of depends on where you are in the world. Delicious tea. Absolutely delicious. Gotta try some. make you a cuppa. You know, I think I'm going to delete this song from my list because it sounds so weird. Where are you? Okay, it has been removed. It does not fit at all. Not at all. All right, less than a minute, and then we'll keep going. It was rather odd. Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking at the time. I didn't see any ads. Well, that's good. Like I said, it depends where people are. Not just in the US, but, you know, in Canada or other parts of the world. Some of you get ads, some of you won't. It's super strange. Super strange. But yeah, this Morvario guy just won't die. But I thought it was too soon. That was way too easy. All right, well, just in case, 3, 2, 1. Ads are done, technically. All right. We shall keep going. My eyes flick to Tristan's face. It's unreadable. There's no fear there, only determination. He squeezes my shoulder and stands. He has no choice but to resume the fighting. I cringe at the small space of solid ground under their feet. A wall of rock lies on the left, and the lethal river flows on the right. The tension is palpable. Tristan's fists hit out more than his enemies, but there's blood on Mavario's knuckles, and I dread to think what Tristan's face looks like. Maybe it's best if he keeps his back to me. The minutes tick by, and Movario takes quicker swings. He's in a trance, unaffected by Tristan's punches. Like a robot, he lashes out, bringing Tristan to his knees. My fingers dig into my palms, and it hurts. The whole situation hurts, both physically and mentally. I can't help Tristan. I can't fight for him. I can only stand by to watch and wait. Fright doesn't quite describe how I feel. More like anger. I hate the man. What started out as a fair fight is now a one-sided butchery. Movario's death angels have turned up, eyes like hollow pits, fingers of razors ready to slice into flesh. They hover and swoop, their gaunt faces a reminder of their ever-present hunger. Ripping Tristan's jacket until his bare skin shows, they twist their fingers into his arms. I imagine the excruciating pain. Fight as he might, Tristan's no match for these harpies. Their breath of foul decay hypnotizes him, slowing his reflexes. The stench fills the cavern, and I'm going to vomit any minute now. From the tunnel, a shrill breeze reaches my face. Nothing like the evil spirits of the wind. It whistles gently around my ears, and I pick up Mama's voice. Use the shard. At first, I believe I'm dreaming of her voice. Then her words get stronger. Act, child, use the shard. I shove my hand into my sweatshirt pocket and withdraw the piece of glass neatly wrapped in a protective cloth. Careful not to cut myself, I take the shard out and stare at it. Can this piece of mirror save us? It looks so frail in my hand. I have to give it a try. Tristan is on the ground with Mavario's fat meat hooks around his throat. If I hesitate much longer, it'll be too late. I pull my arm back as far as it will will go and hurl the sharp piece of glass in Moverio's direction. By magic, it picks up speed and pierces his chest, bowling him over. I watch the shard sink and the astonishment on his face. A blaring howl vibrates off the walls as Moverio squirms on the ground, blood pouring out in a red fountain, spreading rapidly over the muddy earth. His cries die to an agonizing moan as he leans his chin onto his chest. Can this really be the end of him? I've been stalked and scared out of my mind for so long that it's difficult to believe this nightmare might be over. That the monster is finally dead. A distant humming from down the river catches my attention, and a large rowing boat comes into view. The vessel glides towards us. At least a dozen oars flap at the water to move it forward. I blink in surprise. Estelle stands proud at the prow, arms crossed high over her chest, a triumphant smirk on her face. The vessel advances, and I have to admit she would have made a great figurehead on the front of a ship. Her beauty is undeniable, nothing like the old hag Moverio sent to hell at Samhain. She raises a hand, and the rowers pull up their paddles. Come home, have you, dear brother? Her loud voice bounces off the uneven walls of the cavern and bellows around its cavity. A noise so loud I have to cover my ears. Wearing one of her greatest smiles, Estelle clicks her fingers, and the rowers climb over the edge of the boat. They stand, feet astride, arms folded high across their chests, waiting for instructions. Not so bossy now, are you? Her voice full of hatred. You had no qualms about sending me to the underworld. Now it's your turn to join me. She claps her hands above her head, and little by little, Moverio shifts into a dog. His screams turn into monstrous howls as his body twists into a mass of black muscle before he changes into a Cerberus. The three-headed hellhound Hades kept to guard the underworld. The dog that sits in wait to prevent the souls from escaping hell. Only Moverio's multicolored eyes remain unchanged. The hound's large mane of vicious snake shoots out in all directions, hissing as if there's no tomorrow. Their tongues flick in and out, and hundreds of beady eyes observe us. The dog's lion claws try to shift the glass wedged in its chest. The shard doesn't budge. The scratch marks made by its nails only to add the blood oozing from the wound. Howling like an injured wolf, he glares our way. His black body slick with sweat. Wavering cries freeze my blood. I grab Tristan's sleeve. Please, don't let this monster leap towards me in a last-minute desperate effort of revenge. Estelle pulls her head back and lets out a manic laugh. I've always wanted a dog, dear brother, and as you got rid of my Hades, you can take his place in the underworld. Marching as one, the rowers stamp their way to Moverio. They drag the dog towards the vessel, ignoring the whistling din hurling through the tunnel like a freight train ready to escape from the shadows. A gush of hot air races towards us, and I'm pinned to the spot. My brain is incapable of understanding what's going on. The ground shakes, and rolls of thunder quiver up my legs. Tristan makes a grab for my arm. He misses, and I'm thrown to the ground by the force of the wind. The cavern blares. Choppy waves lick the sides of the riverbank, and cracks form of the walls, sending stones tumbling into the muddy water. Tristan reaches for my hand, and I scramble to my feet. Together, we head for the tunnel, hopefully to the way out of this nightmare. We've taken only a few steps when the earth in front of me cracks into a deep crevice. I release Tristan's hand, waving arms to keep balance. Through the tunnel! Quick! I manage to make out what he says. The rest of his words are drowned out by the deafening rumble of rocks. The earth bellows louder and moves in waves before it falls away from beneath me. I lose my balance a second time. On my knees once again, I can't help but glance over my shoulder. The dog's chest rises and sinks with each shallow breath. Its eyes are wide open in a glassy death stare. Its tongue hangs loose between its teeth. Estelle's henchmen heave the dog's body onto the boat before leaping in. The oars flap the water, and the vessel eases its way back through the river to the red light at the end of the cavern. Xerenyse, come on! Let's get the hell out of here! Tristan's voice brings me back to my senses. I manage to stand, and with the help of the jagged walls to guide me, I follow him into the tunnel, where once again he shines the light from his phone to open the way. A deep rumble comes from the belly of the earth, and cracks take shape in front of us. I take a step back to avoid being swallowed into the black hole, stumble, and crash into the wall. I try to catch my breath. The air is filled with a suffocating smoky powder. I manage to clasp Tristan's outstretched hand, and he yanks me over the gaping crevice. Landing on my knees, I bite my bottom lip to keep from shouting out in pain. My lungs strain. I choke for air. Loud drumming vibrates in my ears. My energy is seeping away. I've had enough. I can't go on, Tristan. We are not giving up, he shouts, lifting me in his arms. I've no idea where he gets his energy from. He's been punched, lacerated, and almost strangled to death. Somehow he still finds strength to carry me. With me holding Tristan's phone to light the way, he staggers up the slope to the entrance. The air becomes sweeter. No more pungent sulfur. No more suffocating dust. When Tristan steps out into the countryside, daylight is there to greet us. I don't think I've ever been so happy to see natural light. He sets me gently to my feet, where I cough and splutter, gulping greedily at the fresh air. When I gaze up at him, there are no more wounds on his arms, no more blood, no more bruises. Even his clothes are no longer ripped. Behind us, the earth grumbles, and the dark clouds gallop across the sky. A roll of thunder cries out from the charcoal sky, cracking the air. Streaks of lightning add their touch to the sinister painting. After slicing the sky without mercy, a flash zigzags its way to the passageway in the hill. We hurry out of its reach, stumbling across tree roots. Over my shoulder, a bolt of lightning strikes the entrance. Its force throws us forward onto the damp ground. A mighty roar follows. Then, complete silence. And that's the end of chapter 20. So, it was the little shard all this time that took care of Moverio. Who knew? The question is, why didn't her, ghostly ancestors tell her sooner? And why does it say my stream is unstable? That's weird. All right. We don't have many more pages left, folks. We're on the last chapter. Chapter 21. All right. Just let me respond to a message here real quick. Mitchell. It's always bittersweet when we get to the end. We get to see how it ends. But then it's gone. Not forever, though. There's always the recordings. All right. Here we go. The final chapter of Xerenyse the Witch Cat. And I get to rest easy tonight, knowing how the story ended. There you go. The clouds have disappeared. No air stirs. No noises near or far reach my ears. Nothing. It's a weird sort of serenity. Oppressing, even. Xerenyse, my child. It's over. Nana's voice sounds in my ear. Or is it in my mind? I sit up and search for her. She's there, a glowing haze. So are Mama and Great-Grandma. The three of them make a beautiful sight, as always. Tristan helps me to my feet and turns to face my family. Oh, so glad to hear that. We've done our job, child, Great-Grandma says. We can now join our other ancestors, and we'll see you when your time comes. So you stayed with me all these years because you knew what was coming? Yes. We were here to make sure you were safe and to stop you from being sacrificed. Tristan steps forward and wraps a comforting arm around me. A slow smile spreads across Nana's face. We'll always be with you here, as she points to her heart. We'll be off now. Mama links her arms through Nana's and Great-Grandma's. You're safe, my love. Now you can move on and enjoy the rest of your life. The curse has been broken. I pull back the sleeve of my sweatshirt and stare at my bracelet. The gemstone's fluorescent light gradually fades to nothing, and my wrist is no longer warm. Is that why the gemstone isn't glowing anymore? Yes, my love. I slip out of Tristan's hold and walk a few steps with them. Apart from the past months, I've never been separated from my family for long. And now the three of the most wonderful people who I spent all my life with are leaving me. My chest aches, and my breathing accelerates. I knew the time to say goodbye would come sooner or later. Seems that time is now. I brush away my tears as my family dances out of sight, singing and laughing at the tops of their voices. Turning to Tristan, I take his outstretched hand. Even though my family's happy, and in a way so am I, right now I need to be comforted. They're gone. I'm on my own. And I hate to think that I'll be going back to an empty house. I'm going to be so lonely. Will Tristan keep me company? Step permanently into my life? I need to know where I stand. See how he sees our relationship now I'm a human. What happens now? I ask. Tristan shoots me a quizzical look. What do you mean? I inspect a tuft of moss on the ground, not sure how he'll react to what I have to say, but I need to get this heavy burden off my chest. I like you a lot, Tristan. Really, a lot. I begin, releasing my hand from his. I've grown to love you during the time we've been together. I know how you think, how you live, what pleases and displeases you. You're a loving, caring person, and we've been through a lot together. He holds my gaze. There's a reaction on his face that I can't quite grasp, but I still need to say one last thing. I've fallen hard for you. Heat floods my face, and I shift my gaze to the ground again, worried I've shocked him. Panic rushes through me, drying my mouth, and I simply want to disappear now down one of the molehills in the earth. I can't believe I've just blurted that out. How is he going to react? How do I expect him to react? A warm hand grazes my cheek, but I can't bear to meet his gaze. I keep my eyes glued to the ground. Oh, Xerenyse, Tristan whispers. You've become dear to me, more than you can imagine. It's true, you know me so much more than I know you. And all because we've been through a strange relationship. He rests his forehead against mine, and I manage to swallow past the lump of disappointment in the back of my throat. What did I expect? For him to say he's madly in love with me too? That he can't live without me? He needs time to get used to me as a human. Will he like what he discovers, though? I'm going to be lonely without Gemma, he says, tilting my chin to face him. Please tell me that Xerenyse is willing to stay. I'd like to get to know her better. My throat is dried up with emotion, and I'm about to choke. Tears of relief trickle down my cheeks, letting out the bottled up worry. He's willing to give us a chance, and I'm going to make this work. I love this man, but will I be able to adapt to my new life? I've been with him as a cat. Will we get on together now I'm a human? Of course I'll stay. is all I can manage to say as I rest my head against his chest. Tristan entwines his arms around me, and I let out a relieved sigh. I have to stop asking myself so many questions. No one knows what the future holds for us. What it holds for anyone, in fact. What I need to do is take one step at a time. Simply let things happen. I need to go back and visit my great aunt, Tristan says, breaking free of our embrace. I caress his face. And so we shall. A wide grin spreads across his face, and I only hope we won't regret our visit. Since Morvario shifted into Minimaw, I can't help wondering if any harm has come to the woman. I shouldn't be pessimistic, but nothing surprises me anymore. There's a break in the story. Quick chance for some tea. That afternoon, we pull up outside the farm. There was no sign of his great aunt, and worry sets in. Then again, the woman doesn't always have to be outside feeding the animals. We enter the house. Still no sign of her. Where do you think she is? I ask, wandering around the room, trailing my fingers over the different ornaments. I've no idea. Maybe she just moved on, like she said she would. A photo on the mantelpiece catches my attention. Hang on a minute. That wasn't there when we last came. I would have noticed it. Taking the small frame down, Taking the small frame down, I extend it in Tristan's direction. It's a photo of the old man, I say as he heads toward me. The one who drove the van which brought me here to the farm. Tristan takes hold of the photo and lets out a short gasp. It's my grandfather. How could you have seen him? He's dead. I catch the surprise on his face and squeeze his arm. Don't forget, I can see ghosts. They were beautiful. They? He was with a woman his age. Could have been his wife, I suppose. They looked very much in love. He called her Tristina. Grandma. His words fall out as a whisper. Tristana was my grandmother's name. My father named me after her. His vague expression upsets me, and I need to say something to comfort him. They were very happy together. Very happy. I rub my hand up and down his arm. I remember playing cards with them. Tristan's face cracks into a sad smile as he fondles the frame. That was before Grandma left and Grandpa sent me away to boarding school. My eyes blur, bringing up images of a young kid sent away to school. With both parents gone and a grandfather who probably couldn't cope on his own. What love had the poor boy had? It's okay, he says, catching the growl in my throat. Grandfather was ill and couldn't take care of me. He sent me to one of the best schools, and I stayed with him every holiday. They were some of the best I had. A creaking noise comes from above. We both lift our gaze to the ceiling. There's someone up there, I say, lowering my voice to a whisper. And it can't be your great aunt. She would have come down to greet us. We climb the stairs, each footstep dulled by layers of dust. How could so much have fallen in such a short time? The long corridor stretches in front of us, as gloomy as ever. The noise is coming from down there, I manage to say. The door at the far end is open. As we approach the room, the creaking gets louder until, quite unexpectedly, it stops. So do I. What's up? Tristan asks. What can I say? I've got strange feelings something's wrong. I put on a weak smile as we head to the end of the corridor. Before entering the room, I stop to take in a deep breath, praying things will be all right. No more horrid surprises, please. I've had more than my fair share. In the middle of the room, amongst the pieces of shards from the magic mirror, Minima rocks backwards and forwards in her rocking chair, clutching a brown envelope in her hands. Rays of ice blue light dance up from the pieces of broken glass and enhance her blanched features with a mellow glow. She turns to face us, and a warm smile lights up her face. I've been waiting for you. The cushions behind her have taken the form of her body, and I ask myself how long she's been in the chair, waiting patiently for us to arrive. My lips quiver. Minima is no longer of this world. She has the same silver skin and aura around her as my family, the one that makes them beautiful and peaceful. This is for you, Tristan, she says, holding up the envelope. It's the deed of the property. You're the only remaining family I have. Tristan holds out a hand to take it. Keep losing my place. He suddenly realized she's a ghost. My heart rate accelerates. How could he see her? The magic from his ring and my bracelet ceased when we came out of the cavern. The sparkling shards must still have special powers. Don't be upset, my boy. My hour came a while back, but I waited for you to come one last time. I catch the disappointment on Tristan's face and remember back to what he said to his great aunt the last time at the farm, that he was happy to have finally found a member of his family. Unfortunately, that finding was short-lived. Just promise me one thing before I go, though. His great aunt's voice becomes frailer by the minute. Make good use of this place? Tristan manages a weak smile. I will. I promise. He turns to meet my gaze. Good. I can now go in peace. She holds out a hand as if to wave goodbye, and my eyes brim with tears. Tristan manages a weak smile. I already read that. Tristan stretches out his fingers in hope of touching her one last time. That doesn't happen. The old woman shimmers in a spreading ring of light until she's surrounded by a golden aura. An electrical humming fills the attic, and she slowly disappears from her feet upwards. As the glow reaches her neck, she mouths, "I love you," before vanishing completely, and the deeds drop to the seat of the rocking chair. I'm just as dumbfounded as Tristan. My family never evaporated like that. They floated away until they vanished out of sight. I never saw them disappear little by little before my eyes. Tristan's lips quiver as he stoops to retrieve the envelope and turns to face me. I give him what I hope to be a comforting smile. I'm used to being with ghosts. I've lived all my life with them, until now. He, on the other hand, has only just stepped into my world. He'll no doubt need more time to digest all this. I'll respect that, and will help him as much as I can. For now, I reckon he needs to be alone with his thoughts. Maybe say goodbye to his great aunt on his own, his way. I head downstairs and step out of the farmhouse to find late autumn breeze rustling the last leaves around the old barn. The sun dips behind the hills, spilling long shadows across the yard, and I can see this is a perfect place to grow medicinal plants. Tristan's dream of setting up a botanical garden may come true after all. I could even see myself working here, and the idea pleases me. Why not share my knowledge with others? Footsteps sound in the doorway, and Tristan comes to stand behind me, his strong body cradling mine. I caress his hand and fondle the ring on his finger. He kisses the top of my head, and I snuggle deeper into his body, savoring the moment before he turns me to face him. His warm forehead touching mine brings spine-tingling frisson, a feeling I like. My senses spin as Tristan places his mouth over mine. I slide both hands up his chest and twist my fingers in his hair. I've wanted to do that for so long. Over and over he kisses my lips, murmuring my name each time he comes up for air, and my head hums in a cloud. When he eventually pulls back, he locks eyes with mine. "Are you happy, my love?" he whispers. "Meow." Tristan throws his head back and lets out a sexy throaty laugh of his, the one that makes me all gooey inside. I nuzzle my face under his chin and breathe in the soft smell of his skin. Now that I've found my soulmate, and with the family curse broken, maybe I can finally believe in a happily ever after. Ladies and gentlemen, Xerenyse, the Witch Cat. Quite the story. Thank you for the applause. So yes, there it is. Story finished. It was a nice little ending. I had a feeling it would be a happy ending, but You never know. You never know. I didn't want to assume too much, but I'm glad. Good cup of tea. And that's good timing too, because it's almost the end of stream. So, really quick, let me give you another reminder of what book we're going to next. Now, we won't actually start reading this until, like December, because of everything that's going to happen. Won't have internet and changing location and, all that stuff. But, just as a reminder, Song for Someone, and I'll read the back to you. Charlotte Sapori has led a wonderful life, safely tucked in the bosom of her family. Her mother, Irene Adler, is a renowned opera singer, while her father, Luca Sapori, does important government work that frequently takes him away from them. Charlotte is close to her older brother, Nico, and they are both doted on by their parents. All is well until her mother receives an unexpected diagnosis, which shakes the family to its core. Knowing herself to be dying, Adler confesses to Charlotte things that have long been kept from her, telling her to find and read her diary. A distressed Luca Sapori, I'm going to say that wrong all the time, tells his daughter to read his as well. And by the way, Luca Sapori is not his real name. In fact, she may have heard of him. He is actually the world-famous detective Sherlock Holmes. Charlotte finds both diaries and plunges into the hidden world of Irene Adler and Sherlock Holmes as she discovers what brought them together and how they managed to stay together for 30 years despite having to battle the odds. So, that is the plan for our next book. It's sitting on my desk, but I'm not going to read ahead. In fact, I should probably get ready to pack it. But there you go. Thank you all for being here this evening. I greatly appreciate it. Let's find someone we can go say hello to, and then we'll raid out. Oh, let's see who's online right now. Bum, bum, bum. You know what? We haven't raided Mr. Carrington in a long time. Looks like he's doing Jackbox party stuff. So we'll go say hello to him. Let's see. That's weird. I didn't spell it wrong. Ah, there we go. I guess I just can't use the @ symbol if he's not here. That's fine. Nighty night. Have a good rest of your evening. You too. Thank you very much. I appreciate you all being here. I will be back on Thursday. Just got to figure out what we're going to do. Yeah. So until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and have a wonderful night.